Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I got something special I want to talk to you guys about. Before my co-star gets into her thing, why don't we discuss my aha moment where these credit card points and miles are concerned? So, like I said, I'll let her do her thing and we'll jump right into it.
Welcome back to my dad's channel. If you're new here, make sure to click that like button and subscribe, and don't forget to share.
So look, I'm not going to keep you in suspense. Hands down, my aha moment when I really started putting the pieces of the puzzle together, when the tools that I have employed really started making sense, was when I took my wife to Paris on our first real, purposeful credit card points redemption. There's just no other feeling that can really describe how the light bulb turned on. So now that I've given you the endpoint, let me give you everything that came on the left side of the equal sign. So you guys have already heard the story. If you watch the channel, then you've already heard the story of how I really got into points and miles. I was sitting around with the wife, about to turn 40, maybe call it a midlife crisis, call it whatever. But really and truly, I didn't come in on the greatest auspices. It was just like, hey, I want a annual fee card to say that I had one. You know what I mean? I just wanted to try it out, and I did so with the Delta Amex Platinum Sky Miles card. I'm like, all right, $250 for a credit card. All right, I'll give it a go. You know what I mean? So it wasn't even like it was well thought out. It was sort of something that I did on a lark. And then, like I said before, I looked at the card, I researched the card, found RJ Financial, opened my whole world to points and miles and how to do it. So that is the first part, and that's really the very watered down version. But what ended up happening was the wife and I went to Vegas. Well, we were fiancés then, or boyfriend and girlfriend, or whatever. We came back as husband and wife. We did some redemptions there in Beverly Hills, and it was all well and good. But right before we went, I had actually gotten the Amex Platinum card. I was out there using that, trying to hit the sub and, just really kind of flying by the seat of my pants, not really knowing what I was doing until I did even further research. So after I come back, that's when I start discovering that there are systems around these cards. There are systems on how to deploy them, how to deploy the resources surrounding them, the credits, the points. And I had realized that I had started getting cards without really scratching the surface of how incredibly useful they could be. So I start devouring YouTube content. Then I start getting, associated with creators like Luke's Points and Miles, like Mark Reese, like Mark Plymail. Like I discovered, I believe it was around that time I discovered Ben Hedges, Sebi, and really what a turning point was, the beginning of the aha moment was a video that Ben Hedges had did with a person who actually deployed a huge amount of points and a huge amount of cards in order to take like a $40,000 vacation. So he actually used like a buy one, get one certificate from the Delta Platinum card to get to New York. So then they flew business class to the Maldives. Then he used I believe it was the CSR for the seaplane over because that counted as a travel credit. Then he got upgraded at the Hilton Conrad in the Maldives. And then he used, it was a bunch of stuff that this guy used to really, I think he spent like over 1 million points or 2 million points or something like that. But really out of pocket, he said it was like somewhere between, I want to say $0 and $2,000. But either way, that's when it hit me that all I have to do is add a couple of extra things to what I do anyway, how I spend money anyway, and I could deploy a system like this guy, or at least something reasonably similar. Hey, you want to get to the point? Okay, I'm getting to the point. Thanks. In any case, I've been watching YouTube for 10 months, really just devouring all of the content I can get my hands on, looking and searching, trying to find ways to find redemptions, looking at where I want to go. And finally, it just hit me one night I was at work. I called the missus, and our whole plan was we got married in Vegas. We would go stay, for some reason, we wanted to stay at Hotel Paris in Vegas when we went back. We'd just go back there for our anniversary, just keep it nice and simple. But I give her a call and I say, hey, how about we go to actual ass Paris? How do you top that? And I'm sure her on the other side of the phone is probably like, has this man lost his mind? But I did not lose my mind. I had actually found availability through Virgin Atlantic in order to fly Delta One business class. It was 2 months before our anniversary, so it was fairly short notice. And she said, you know what? I trust you. Let's do it. So I did the booking. I got us there. I got us home. We just had to figure out hotels in the meantime. But fast forward, and I can tell you right now, the experience of the very first time you show up, you turn up to an airport, and you get on a wide body jet. It was my first time on a wide body jet. And instead of turning right, we got to go left. And you saw that cubby hole, and the champagne was waiting for you, the amenity kit, the seat, it was just beyond. And the look on her face really said it all. I've actually done videos of it where I cataloged that trip, and there was no feeling like it ever in the world. And even when we landed on our actual anniversary, they presented her with a bottle of champagne and congratulations for our first time in Europe, our first wedding anniversary, and our first time in business class. So at that point, you couldn't tell me nothing about points, miles, period. I am now a believer, a devotee, and I might even start my own church. Apparently, they're ridiculously easy to start, and they're tax exempt, and well, we all know what time of year it is right now. So now, since that experience, here we are almost 18 months later, a fairly well-established YouTube channel, over 30 credit cards, and countless points later, loving the points and miles life. I really do like it. There are its ups, there are its downs, but I'm convinced that this is simply the only way to go. And as long as it is able, as long as they don't pass any wacky laws in Congress, if there are points and miles available for me to leverage with spend that I make anyway, I will be doing so until my final breath. It has been absolutely wonderful. Now, this video was inspired by the homie Sledge. Salute. I actually want to call him out. I'd like to hear his aha moment. I'm going to pass the ball to him. But in addition to that, for my audience, what was your moment? Feel free to leave it in the comments. If you're a fellow creator, I would also like to hear your aha moment. I would love to hear the thing that made the light bulb turn on, that lets you know that there is something to this, and this is something that I want to do. So I want to thank you if you were here. By the way, don't want to forget the pointy thing. So here are a couple of videos. You can actually look at some of my experiences. And with that, I'll catch you later.